Developing tonight, 7 News tracking Evan Ebel's whereabouts before the killings of Nate Leon and Tom Clemens and a shootout in Texas. Tonight, we're uncovering why the suspected murderer was not living in a halfway house. 7 News reporter Marshall Zellinger tracking a killer. Marshall, you're learning he was practically missing while the murders took place.
And his ankle monitor, which is this device here, set off a tamper alert 3 days before the murder of Nate Leon and 5 days before the murder of Tom Clemens. This is when he was not to be monitored. This is his parole documents that show between the hours of 6 a.m. and 6 p.m. during the week, he was not going to be monitored and he was supposed to be at his father's law firm working.
After Evan Ebel left prison, 7 News confirms he went to live in this Commerce City home. The owner of the home telling 7 News he rented it to Ebel's father to help keep Evan from living with ex-cons in a halfway house, giving him a chance to turn his life around. On January 29th, Evan Ebel made his first daily phone call to confirm he was in compliance with his parole. He made those calls daily through March 14th at 7:20 a.m. But 6.5 hours later, his monitoring bracelet issued a tamper alert at 1:54 p.m. 7 News learning his bracelet was not GPS, rather a radio frequency device that sends an alert if he's not at home at curfew or if it's cut off. Despite the tamper alert, it wasn't until 4 days later, on March 18th, that parole officers contacted Ebel's family about his status. 1 day earlier, Nate Leon was murdered. On March 19th, 5 days after the tamper alert, Ebel was labeled an absconder, a fugitive on the run. That night, Tom Clemens was murdered. The next day, a warrant was issued for Ebel's arrest, not for the murders, but for being a parolee on the run. Sources tell 7 News on March 21st, investigators searched his Commerce City rental, finding his ankle bracelet in a closet.
We wanted to know why Ebel was wearing this type of tracking instead of a GPS tracker similar to this one that would monitor your every move. According to the Department of Corrections, because of a lack of resources, this type of GPS monitoring is reserved strictly for sex offenders. But based on these events, the DOC is reviewing its policies and procedures. Reporting live, Marshall Zellinger, 7 News.
And tonight, we're also learning that Ebel fantasized about torturing and killing prison staff while behind bars. That revelation from a letter confiscated in 2006. That letter used to keep him behind bars after punching a prison guard. But the judge's sentencing decision was not properly enforced because of a paperwork error.
And these revelations are leading to more frustration for Nathan Leon's family, now calling for answers and accountability. They're telling 7 News reporter Jacqueline Allen they haven't gotten either one.
Yeah, I'm live outside the Domino's where Nate Leon was last seen alive, and his father tells me they still have so many questions about what happened after he left here to deliver a pizza and about the mistakes that put Evan Ebel in his path.
All these things, any one of them, had they been different, my son would be alive.
For John Leon, every revealed mistake is a reminder Nate didn't have to die.
It's just like, when does this comedy of errors end?
Especially after the most recent revelation. It took days for officials to seek a warrant after Evan Ebel's ankle monitor stopped working.
I gotta believe that somebody didn't follow process again.
Again, because just yesterday the court admitted a mistake. New transcripts obtained by 7 News show Ebel was supposed to be sentenced to an additional 4 years in prison for assaulting a guard. He shouldn't have been let out until 2016.
Accountability. There's admitting something and there's accountability for it.
But John Leon says instead he's getting little information from Denver police about the crime, a court apology in a press release, and a statement from the governor saying he commends the court for reviewing its procedures.
I can't believe that the governor's office would be singing their praises when 2 people are dead because of it.
And Denver police are still being very tight-lipped about their investigation. The family wants to know if anyone else was acting with Ebel and why he targeted Nate, who only worked here as a pizza delivery driver 1 day a week. Reporting live in Denver, Jacqueline Allen, 7 News.